Otherwise, in any case, I have a recording. Don't worry, you guys. Yes, great. So we'll have 2 copies of the
I
recording
think so.
if
Anybody
there's
can
some
stop
quality.
recording. I think so. Anybody can stop recording because there is an option that is saying stop recording, and it's just cutting off
Yeah,
the
I get it.
recording of anyone.
No, I think it was due to I'm in 2 meets right now because of the max cap of the meets. So let's not delay it further. We'll resume the meet, and both of them are being recorded, so it's not an issue. So just for information, who was it? It was Subhanshu, right? Yeah, great. I think it will be sent to my account only. Great. Okay, so let's resume. Right. Yeah, so I was here. What are Android Study Jams? Android Study Jams are, as it's written, community organized study groups for people who want to know how to learn how to build Android apps. Right. So this is a self-paced event series. And for those who are interested in developing Android applications, let's move ahead. Okay, so a lot of you guys might have this question, why Kotlin? So in this course, you'll be learning how to code in Kotlin to build Android apps. Kotlin is, as it's written, it's concise, modern, and a safe programming language, is known for helping developers to be more productive. Kotlin allows you to be more concise when writing a code, and you can write safer code that is less prone to errors. So due to its many features, Kotlin has gained momentum very quickly, and it was one of the fastest growing languages according to GitHub, and it was number 4 on the most loved programming languages in the Stack Overflow developer survey. Just give me a minute. Yeah, everything's great. Yeah. So at Google, and the cherry on the top is at Google I/O 2019, it was announced that Android development is Kotlin first. So what that means is any application will be first given a preference if it's Kotlin, as in they officially recommend Kotlin over Java now because it's more faster. It's a faster and a more concise language with uh, with lack of some problems that they were in Java, right? So over 60 of Google's apps are built using Kotlin, and these include Maps, Google Maps, Google Home, if you might be aware, Google Play, and Google Drive. The Google Home team also declared that they had reduced the size of their code base by 33%. And there's something called as null pointer exceptions. I'm not sure if the first years know it yet, but it's like a pretty bad thing to encounter, and you encounter it pretty often in Java. So the decrease in the number of null pointer exceptions was about 30%, which is a very big thing for a team of that size. So Kotlin is Android first now, and it's a great programming language to learn. Yeah, so as you might know, Android Study Jams has these 2 courses. So there were a lot of questions about these courses, and I'll be covering about them shortly. Okay. Okay, so this is about the new to programming track. This track is for people with little to no programming experience. We start at the beginning and you learn how to build simple Android apps. Here are some prerequisites that will be helpful for this track. Having basic computer literacy and basic math skills is recommended. You'll also need a computer to access the internet, and it's also helpful if you have an Android device so you can test your app. So as I said earlier, it will be preferable that you keep your Android device and a USB cable. Otherwise, we have the option of an emulator. So in this course, the content will be introduced at a slower pace and programming fundamentals will be explained along the way. So this event series is basically supported by a course, which is a self-paced course, and it's explained very nicely. You're giving a lot of documentation along with code labs. I'll be introducing you to the platform soon. And so how I would recommend you to choose the courses is if you have less confidence in the program, if you have no programming experience, first of all, and second will be if you have a little less confidence and you would like to brush over the concepts again, then I would recommend you could start with this course and then shift to the second one, right? So I'll move on to the next one now. Just a minute. Right, so this is the prior to programming experience track. This is for those people who have experience in any object-oriented language, C, C++, Python, Java. If you have suitable experience with it. If you've worked around with it, say in your 11th, 12th, or you've worked around with it in your college first year, it's totally fine. And that would be fine for your the second track. It will introduce you to the Android part of the things, right? So here are some prerequisites. As I mentioned, it would be an object-oriented programming language, a computer or internet connection. And here we'll be learning the essentials of programming Kotlin, programming in Kotlin. And yeah, that's about it. So here is today's schedule. So we have an introduction to the program and the platform, which we are doing right now. Post that, we'll do a setup of Android Studio and a few Kotlin basics. This will mark as the start of the beginner session. So first we're having the introductory session for both the beginners and the prior experienced guys right now. And later on, when we begin with the setup, if you have already done the setup, feel free to leave the session and pursue the courses yourself. Right. So if you're wondering where to get started, here's the answer. The Android developers page. I'll be sharing the link on both the meets for the chat, and you can quickly log in with your non-IIIT accounts. This is crucial. Use your other Google account, your personal account preferably, because it doesn't support organization accounts yet. And next, I'll be explaining the interface. Just give me a second to share the link. So yeah, you can look at the chat links. Okay, yes. No, some people are asking they've already installed Android Studio. You don't need to uninstall it. It's great. If it's an older version, you can just update it and I'll guide you through it. Yes, programming means in any language. I'll just have a look at the chat real quick. Great. I think.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
In prior programming track, you had written that we should be familiar with GitHub also, but I am not familiar with GitHub, but I know C++ a bit in 11th and 12th.
Okay. So yeah, that won't be an issue. And DSC will be soon organizing a GitHub session, an introductory session. It's not an issue if you are not that familiar with GitHub. GitHub is an optional tool. So for those of you who don't know it, GitHub is a version control system. So you might have used Google Docs. So in Google Docs, there's an option to see a version history where anybody makes a change and you'll be able to see that change and you'll be able to revert back to a change. So when you're developing code for a bigger code base, it is very convenient to have a version control. So it's not mandatory and it's an optional step, but we'll soon be covering that as well. It's actually good practice to back up with GitHub. Okay. So Lean is asking, I'm quite familiar with Java. Okay, if you're quite familiar, it's no need. Both the courses, the first course will be an introductory course with, as I said, with programming basics, and it will explain basics concepts of programming as well, while starting the building up the basic building blocks for Android development. And with the prior experience, we'll just start with the syntax so that you can just migrate to Kotlin with the Kotlin syntax and just get jiffy with program app development. I would say, yeah. So I'll give you. So in this landing page would have landed you to the courses. You can just sign in with your Google accounts and you can start any course as of now. It would be preferable you choose your courses. If you're new to programming, start that course. Just click on that button, start course. Be sure to sign in with your accounts. That way you'll save the progress. This will also earn you a, sorry? Right. So we'd be going for the start course. Let me just shift the slides. It will be more clear. I'll be giving a live demo also for those of you who are confused. Just give me a minute. Okay. So yeah. Right. So Kotlin Cones, just to be clear, Kotlin Cones is nothing. It is an introductory module, a very short module to just get you familiar with the syntax of Kotlin. So the syntax of all languages are different. So it will just introduce you to that particular syntax. And it's a brief module. So you can just click on start course And when you click on it, you'll collect your first badge. It should give you a badge on your Google developer profile. Okay, so so let's have a look at the platform for the courses. I'll resume speaking. The Android developers website. So here we'll have a look at the Android basics in Kotlin course. So each course, similarly you have the advanced course, the Android Kotlin fundamentals. So each course is comprised of units, and units are made of pathways. So we'll be proceeding to each unit and a pathway. You may be wondering, what is a pathway? So a pathway is an ordered sequence of activities, and it might be a video or a code lab. And the code labs are heavily documented and they are very beginner friendly. So if you are intimidated by programming, it's totally fine. Everybody learns at one day, right? And if you're new to Kotlin, whatever be the case, it's totally fine, and it's a very nice documentation. It will help you along the path. All right. And at the end of each pathway, we'll have a quiz. Post the quiz, you'll be graded on scoring a specific score. You'll earn the badge of that particular unit or a pathway, that particular unit. So to complete the courses, as you can see, you'll have to complete all the quizzes, and they're like, you can try the quiz there are infinite tries for that. But be sure that if you get a question wrong, try to understand the concept, even if you need to look back at the source material. Yeah, so as I said, after you pass the quiz, you'll earn a badge like this one. And now I will introduce you to the Google developer profile. So if you guys have joined any of the courses, I'll share a link where you can check this. Yeah. So this is a developer profile. Why this is important is you will be required to share this with me post the completion of the courses. I'll be sharing the additional details soon enough. So don't worry if you have any doubts. I'll give you a chance, right? So I've shared the Google developer profile links, and now I can show you mine also. Yeah. So if you go to this link, you'll be here on a developer google.dev, right? You can click on my profile like this. It will show you your profile. So this is a private link, and you will earn badges as you start with the courses, as you complete the quizzes of the courses. And you can have a bio, you can play around with this emoji maker, something like this, and you'll have all badges over here, and you'll be required to share this with me later for earning the certificate. Yeah, that is actually recommended. No. It is not allowed. So Google developer page is basically in beta stage right now, as you can see over here. So it does not support organization emails. So even this is my personal email that I've used. And I recommend you will only be able to use it via your other Google account, a different one. So use that. And once you sign in with the same email on this particular website for the courses. Like this is the landing page for Android basics in Kotlin. So I'm signed in with the same account. So that way you'll be sure that the badges earned are shown on your Google developer profile. And again, I would like to also add that this site is a bit beta right now. So even though you might complete the courses, it might show like 80%, 40%. It is possible, but you'll be earning the badges for sure. That is sure. So to verify, you can just check the badge of that particular course on your Google developer profile. Am I clear? Yes, I'll be coming to that. Just give me a minute. Yeah. So as you were asking, this is the timeline for the course, and let me explain it real quick. So these courses are mandated by Google. They are provided by official Android. So the content is great. So how it works is, first, if you're new to programming, you'll be completing the Android Basics in Kotlin course. Hello. Yeah, please unmute yourselves if you don't have a doubt. Okay. It will be really tough for me to unmute you as an admin because I'm in 2 meets. Okay. Okay, so it's Sambhav Jain, I guess. Yeah, I've muted him. It's all right. Yeah, so let's proceed to where I was. Yeah, so if you're new to programming, I recommend that you start with Android Basics in Kotlin course, as you saw on the landing page. So this is an optional course, and it's optional if you're new to programming. It's recommended that you follow through, and it will explain you the pathways. So I'll also be conducting the 3 sessions which we gave a banner about earlier. I'll be conducting 3 sessions, out of which one is today. I'll be giving you inputs in this way that I'll explain whatever module I think is very relevant and would help you in your path towards Android development. So there are some basics that might be covered in a you can say weird way, or you can say like it will help you to quickly develop the apps. So if you're a fresher, let's just reiterate. If you're a fresher, it is recommended that a fresher with no programming experience or little, you can start with the Android Basics in Kotlin. If you have done a programming language and you're very confident with it, you should start with Android Kotlin Fundamentals. This is a mandatory course, and the certificate officiated by Android will be given only for this course. So this is a restriction put by Google, and you have to complete this course to be eligible for the certificate. And so this is the step 1. I've covered the step 2. The third step is you would use your course information and knowledge to develop Android apps. And the fourth, I'll be sharing a participant form near to the deadline. So this deadline is for submitting the apps to Google. These apps will go to Google, and you'll have to submit an APK of an Android app with meaningful screenshots. So your best app that you are able to develop once you complete the courses. And there'll be a few more details for the form, and I'll share it I'll share it to you along the process, right? And the cherry on the top here is the best entries will be recognized by Google on their social media channels. You'll also get certificates, and Google will be posting about your apps on their social media. So it's a really privileged thing if Google does that for you. So if this program would be at my time, I would like rush into this program to just, make the best apps possible. So it's a really big thing. Okay, so yeah, so this deadline is for Google to submit your apps to Google. Officially, this is the deadline. We could offer a possible deadline extension just for the certificates, but you won't receive any other recognition from Google side, possible recognition. So we'll share the if need be, we can extend the deadline for a few more days. This is the first time this is happening, so I'm not sure. I think it is a success. Like seeing the response, it's a pretty good response. I think it will happen again, definitely. Okay. Yeah, so now we can proceed with setting up Android Studio. And those who already have Android Studio that is present on their PCs, you can update it. And if you don't proceed if you don't proceed with the rest of the session, it's totally fine. And you can choose to exit, right? But if you don't have one, it is recommended that you can set up Android Studio. So this is, yeah, sure. Yeah. Just hold on. We'll take up questions if you have any. First of all, we'll take questions. Yeah, so Android Studio is just an IDE. So what an IDE is, it provides you with tools and recommendations. It's an interface where you can program, just like a text editor, but it's more comprehensive. So Android Studio is the official IDE for Android development. Everybody uses it. So that's what we'll be using. Yes. So it will be briefed to you in the courses that I've mentioned, but need be, I will definitely cover it up as well. Okay, so if there are any more questions, go ahead, unmute yourself, and ask the question.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Somebody said in chat that Android Studio is still in development phase for M1 Max.
Okay, so this is something that I'll have to recheck, but I think it would be there. Every program would have a stable and a beta version. So prefer a stable one. I'll have to check this.
Okay. And how will be getting recording?
Yeah, I'll share that to you after the session. Okay, and
But
also check the chat. Yeah, so if you have any questions, you can just shoot them. Meanwhile, I'll check this chat. Okay, so Yogesh has asked, can we submit, just a second, can we submit the app in groups? No, it is an individual entry, and you'll have to share your Google developer profiles, screenshots of the badges along with your account details, so that I can verify that it's you who have you who has completed the who has completed the course, and so it is not done in groups. Okay, is the app open to all? Yes, yes, the certificate is open to all. Yeah, please shoot your questions. Yeah, so as I said earlier, completing the first course, the basic one, Android Basics in Kotlin, you will not earn a certificate because it's still in development. Google is adding on courses, so they're not providing certificates for that. If you complete the second course, you will be getting a certificate. And if you submit before this particular deadline, 24th Jan, the official deadline as of now, so you will be eligible for recognition by Google on their social media channels. And you'll get a great certificate to boast about with the developer profile with the badges as I showed you. Okay. Could you please repeat? Okay. So yeah, we will offer a extension, preferably most probably till 9th February for courses for getting the certificate. But the official entries will go to Google on 24th Jan. So that is the deadline for recognition by Google. But you'll still get the certificate if you submit it till 9th February. So it gives you 1 month of a time. All right. No, it is actually pretty similar to Java, and the syntax is a little different, I would say. But yeah, the great thing is it interoperable with Java, as I had mentioned in one of the slides. So Android Studio also offers you this great feature that if you have a code of Java and you paste it in Android Studio, it automatically converts most part of that code into Kotlin. It's interoperable. That's the advantage of Kotlin, because most of the apps right now in the Play Store would have, they're old, right? They would have Java as a major code base. So the great thing about Kotlin is you can add parts of it to your Java code and it's completely 100% interoperable. In fact, JVM, the Java virtual machine, it's required for Kotlin as well. So that is bundled along. When you get the IDE for the Android Studio setup, you will get that installed. Yes, it's totally fine. It's not mandatory to attend these sessions, but you can use additional materials. I myself will be sharing some additional resources for learning, but for the certification, you'll have to complete the courses and earn the badges. As I mentioned, each course, on ending each course and passing the quiz, you will earn a badge. And yeah, I'll just show it to you again. You learn a badge, something like this. Like you might have received this badge, Android Study Jams participant. You can favorite these badges. So when you complete one particular unit or a pathway, a unit basically. So a course has units, and in the units there are subunits, right? So once you complete the unit, you will receive this badge. So you will need, for the certification, you need to submit this to me. So it is mandatory that you complete from this source. Am I clear? Yes, so you'll be uploading it on Google Drive. I will share a Google Forms with you near the deadline, and you can upload it there. Okay, I'm not sure about the availability, but yeah, it is definitely in India. I'm not sure about the world, honestly. Most DSC facilitated colleges, those have a developer student clubs. So they are offering, most colleges would offer this program. Yes, 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 that is clear. Anyone with the link. It might be that your siblings would be interested, they can get it. But the certification will be done. I will certify those that will join the program under this college, or anybody who's joining under my domain of the college, I'll be certifying them. For different channels, there are different certifiers. So as you know, I'm the facilitator for the program. The facilitator is responsible for providing the certificates. So I won't be providing certificates for somebody outside of the college. Say they will have their own DSC for someone to do it. Yes, yes, yes. It's open to all. There's no restriction. Yes. No, no, no. It is an official Android certificate. I can share it to you a little later. I'll have to access it. So it is an official Android certificate, and it will have a mark of my facilitatorship also. So I'll be signing it, but it is an official recognized certificate from Android. It's official. So everything is official Android. The courses are also done by Android. If you can see the domain, it's Android developers, right? So everything is official, and it's free of cost. Okay, I don't remember this happening. Has anybody else experienced a similar issue? I can recheck. Okay, so yeah, just a second. While we're answering questions, if anyone is free, right? So if you're clear with the doubts, you can proceed. I can give you a link. You can proceed to download Android Studio, right? So that it is an 800 MB package, 4.1.1. That is the latest version. So I'll share that real quick with you. Just a minute. Okay. Yes, I'll share a Telegram link also, so that so Telegram is a bit faster than the email, and we'll be having, as I told you, it's a study group, right? So anybody with knowledge can share information, and it will be great if you do. It is appreciated. So if you face any problems, you can add it on the group. Possibly me or someone else who has encountered the same problem can answer you, and it's a good community to be in. So I'm just sharing the Telegram link as well. If I didn't share it already, just a minute. That is Kotlin Cons is optional, and it's just a syntax. It's a brief module, so it is recommended that you do it. So it will get you familiar with the syntax. Yeah, it's all right if you do it after the session, because after the setup, I'll be proceeding with the beginner session. It's totally fine if you do it after the session. So I'll share the Telegram link again for the group. And I'll share the Android Studio download page as well. And then we can proceed with the doubts. Yeah. So so if you face any issues while installation, I'm here to help you out. Otherwise, and if you would like some documentation on installation, practically it's very easy setup for I would say Mac and Windows. You just have to click the next install. Stick to the defaults. Don't make any changes, right? So it's a very straightforward setup. For Linux, I can tell you, if you guys are using Linux, I can tell you, you can just download the tar file and I can share you a few steps. It's also pretty simple. So you can proceed with it. Okay. Okay, so yeah, Meghna, it is recommended that you join Telegram. Most of our college activities are on Telegram. So it is recommended that you join it. And you can join this Telegram group later. I'll be sharing this all these links with you again. And on the Telegram group, oh yeah, it is recommended basically. Okay, when will we get the participation form? So there is no participation form. You can join the courses, but I will send a Google form to you once you complete the courses. And I'll be asking a few details from your side. As I said, the screenshots, the APK, your profile badges, all that I'll be sharing it to you near the deadline of the program. Right now, there is no registration that you'll have to do. You just have to sign in on that platform as I showed it. Okay. Great. Yeah, so here's the Telegram. The links with t.me. I'll send these links again. The t.me links are actually Telegram links. Okay, yeah, so the certification course is not different, Rohan, as I'll just show it to you here again. Okay. Okay. Yes, that is allowed. So this course, the new to programming course, right? Yeah, this one, the new to programming course, it is not mandatory for the certification. If you have experience, you can start from here by somehow you can learn the basics from an outside source. You can start here. This course is mandatory for the certification and I would see your badges for it, right? So so Kotlin Cones is also not mandatory. This course, the start course module, this is mandatory, but Kotlin Cones is recommended because it is a very brief course. I can show it to you right now. It's a very brief course. It will just guide you with the basic syntax, or it will give you minor tasks or labs that you can just verify that you know how to program basics in Kotlin, right? It's a very brief course. Like you can probably do it very quick, real quick. So it's nothing. Okay, yeah. So any other queries?
We just have to
Sorry?
download the IDEs, right?
Yes. So Android Studio is the recommended IDE. And so anyone who is doing the installation and they think that they would require some help with it, this is also covered in the course. So if you go to Android Basics in Kotlin for now, right? Even if you're a prior guy, a guy or girl who has prior experience, you can just head on to these Android Basics in Kotlin and go to Unit 2, right? The second unit, Android Basics, create your first Android app. And you can click here, okay, not on Explore, on the title. Yeah, so this will guide you to Android Basics. And here you have a video and basically a code lab for installing Android Studio. I'll just present it here for your convenience. Okay, so yeah, there are some prerequisites as it would be visible on the Android Studio page, but these are pretty much covered by all the PCs you might have. It would not be an issue. And I'm not sure about the M1 chip. Yes, it is. If you have programming experience, even if you don't have, it's a great start. It's a great start. So the certification restriction of the only, excuse me, of the only course that is of prior experience, that is a restriction put by Google. So I don't have any play in it. But even if I would say, don't go after the certificate. It's all right. Go after the knowledge. And honestly, it's a great way to start Android or programming in general. So you'll be learning how to code. Sometimes it may get intimidating or it may get boring. You will question yourself, what's the point of this? What am I developing? Sometimes you do that. So I would say when I started programming, it actually gave me a reason to program more, because it made me happy to see that I coded this and I see it on the screen as an application. So it was great. So I would still recommend, even though you think that you cannot do it, I would motivate you to go forward. I will be holding sessions, the 3 sessions as I mentioned, to get you familiar as fast as I can, irrespective of the courses, to help you through the courses. So I'd still recommend, even if, don't get bogged down, don't get intimidated. It sounds like a buzzword, it sounds like a very big thing, Android development, Kotlin, it's all new to you. It's totally fine. The courses are very well structured, and I still recommend that you do it. Okay, so I'm not sure. This is, as I said earlier, this is mandated by DSCs and Google developers. So I cannot promise you anything on this part. But these courses, as I said, these are open anytime. So even if you are not eligible for the certification, even if you're not able to make it, I would still recommend. Android development is a good skill to have. And you can do these courses anytime. The certification and the Google recognition, possible Google recognition, is restricted to a timeline given to us by Google, right? So, but irrespective, you can do it anytime. And I would recommend start with it. It's a good time. Right now, you don't have many deadlines. So it's a good time to spend your time like this. Okay. Okay, so that is subjective. I think Google would definitely recognize it. And about the company part, once you, what matters is they do also see projects. If you learn Android development and make projects in your free time during the vacations, right? So it will be a great starter during your interviews, and you can, you have to mention projects on your resume. So it would be a great way to make projects. Either you can do it on the web dev side, or if you're good at that, or you can start with Android and you can have a stack of Android development for projects. It will also help you out in internships. Android development is pretty common, so it would be beneficial. Okay, so there is no ideal limit. If you once you start the course and once you start making it, making the apps, it will possibly make you feel very good, like I did with myself. So even when I was doing, I would explain my story. Like I was actually during the lockdown also, I started diving into Android development in Flutter and all Kotlin. Kotlin I started a little later, but I would say that it depends on you. I myself sometimes feel that I lose track of time sometimes when I'm doing this stuff. So it's not like a burden to me. Ideal recommendation for these courses is, so the timeline is given by in front of each courses, right? I think it was given. Okay, yeah. So these courses should not take that long. So I think you should just do it as fast as you can, or try to understand the concepts as well. But yeah, you can give about one. If you're able to manage out, you can manage out 1 to 1.5 hours. That's like pretty normal, I guess. That's a habit you'll have to gain in Triple IT. That yeah, you will be receiving deadlines soon. So don't compromise your deadlines for this, but try to make better use of your time. I hope that answers. Okay, so can I get a +1 for those who have installed Android Studio, or okay. Yeah, so do not import them because it's the first time you're installing it, right? So do not import them. You can proceed with the other option. And also in general, feel free to ask any doubts, but it's also a good practice if you start debugging your own codes or start solving problems. So whenever I face a problem, the first thing I do is search Stack Overflow. Like it's Stack Exchange, Stack Overflow. It's like the god sites for you right now. Or you can say there are many other sites, right? So you just Google that problem and it's there. It's definitely there, I can promise you. And it offers a great learning experience. I've learned a lot of things about Linux and Ubuntu in general about just by Googling. I faced a lot of issues and it was amazing how I learned. It's I just can't describe it. Yeah, so I hope you guys are installing. I'll just check the chat once again. Yes, yes, yes. Do not import settings. Okay. I'll just have a look at the questions. Sorry? Okay, yeah. So it is okay if you make a similar app. Don't just submit the course app, like the ones you'll be covering in, like for example, there's a dice roller app in your first modules. Don't just submit the same app. So that would not earn you recognition for sure. Try to come up with an idea. A similar app would do. Like you can just say like Swiggy and Zomato, they are different apps, but they're on the same concept. It's all right. But try to be innovative with it. If you want to get recognized by Google, Google will definitely see innovative ones. So it's recommended that you put on your thinking caps. So it would be a great thing if you get recognized. Okay, so I see a lot of plus ones, right?
Which components shall we install? Android Studio or Android Virtual Device?
Okay. I'll get to that. So I think enough time has been spent on this and we'll set up Android Studio, right? Okay, so just let me close this project. Okay. Just give me a minute. I will start presenting my screen. Just hold on. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. So I will cover that. As in, I would say you can't just do away with Java. So in your second year and your second semester, you will be doing courses in Java. So it is good that you're starting with Java. But speaking from a perspective of Android development in general, Android is Kotlin first, as I said. It is recommended by Android itself that you make apps in Kotlin. And it's kind of like the future. So Java is an old language. It was like about 20 years ago. So by time, it's not as concise as it could be. I would say, like, if you would personally see, Python it's a lot easier to learn, I guess. And the boilerplate code, what is like the basic code to run a basic app, that is very less in Python compared to that of in Java, right? So by time things get better. So it's Kotlin is just like an upgrade with different syntax. So that is something you'll have to deal with. You'll have to learn how to shift different syntaxes when you shift a programming language. So yeah, but Kotlin is, yeah. Logics are same throughout any programming language. So I think you are having this introduction to programming module where you learn something about Turing complete. So all the languages are like Turing complete. What it means that any problem can be solved by them, right? So it's only the syntax is different, be it any language, C++, Java, Python, any. The basic functionality can be done by any language. So only the syntax part you have to learn. The logic is same. The loops, everything will be same. Classes, in object-oriented languages, it would be the same.
Hello.
Okay, so having learned C and C++, it would be really beneficial. Their syntaxes are pretty similar, I would say, C++ and Java. But you don't have to learn Java for this particular module course. You have to learn Kotlin. It has a slightly different syntax, I would say. But yeah, you would be needing Java for your upcoming semesters in second and third. See, I can show. Okay, so if you guys are done with, it's something I would say that it's, people hype up this stuff, development, Android development, machine learning. These are words you can get started very easily. Trust me, follow the course. You would, if you spend enough time, you would be able to do it, right? So there's no worry about it. You're just first years. I started Android development in the later part of my first year. So you guys are early. And even if you are not able to, earn the certificate right now, it's totally fine. It's absolutely fine. You guys are like very early. If I had this opportunity, like I would be like very happy. So I would say, don't go after the certificate. You can still finish the courses. See, the courses are not difficult. So if you just inspect a course, you just have to see the videos. The code labs are heavily documented. I can show one to you right now as well. So this is one of the courses, right? This is one module, a pathway. You just see this video. This is an optional video. Then you proceed to the code lab. So if I proceed on this code lab, all steps are given. Okay, it's taking a bit of time because I'm in 2 meets. Yeah. Okay. I totally forgot about that. Okay, I'm in 2 meets. Just pardon me for that. I just saw sharing on one and okay. Okay, wait, I am presenting where? This is confusing. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, I get it. So it's because of this participant limit. That's it. Right. Okay. Okay, this is for the link to. I'm sorry for that. All right. Yeah, so this. Okay. All right. So this is the particular code lab. I'll just show it again. Yeah. So this is a track. This is your basics of Android. And this is the second pathway in it. This has 4 tracks. So there's this video here. Then after you see this video, you can do this. You can take this code lab, and then you can take another code lab. After this, you just have to do a quiz, right? So the code labs are very good. Like I would say they are like very well documented, and at every step they're explaining what you have to do. Then there's a summary what you learn. It's pretty good. You can get the solution. So it's like it is very manageable. You can do it. After this, you just have to take a quiz, and then you'll earn the badge. Like this is a basic quiz. It's a very basic quiz. You can manage it. I'm pretty sure. So, but I would say if it's tough for you to complete both the courses, I'm pretty sure most of you will be able to do that. You will complete the courses. But I would recommend, it's easy to honestly, it is easy to complete the courses. But I would recommend try to learn as you complete them, and it will be beneficial for your future. Okay. Yes, we will get the recording. Yes, so you will have to go through the pathway, the content that they have shared. They have explained everything that you require in the in the pathway, right? It's everything is very well mentioned. You will definitely be able to answer the quiz if you go through this. Go through this even once, you will be able to answer it. So it's fine. You can also look for help, but I would say try to do it yourself because it is something. It's a skill for you to learn, right? So. Okay, so I think we should proceed with the Android Studio setup at least, because I was hoping to cover a little more. That's all right. Okay, so we'll extend this session till 7:45 because of the delay, right? I hope you're comfortable. Just okay. I'll stop sharing for a minute, and then I'll show how we can set up for Android Studio, right? Present a window. Okay. Yeah. So I would say 2 things. This is the Android Studio, right? I'm using version 4.1.1, right? So this will show you create new project, create new Flutter project. And these are some options. Here you will also, yeah. Oh God. Okay, just mind it. Yeah, I'm seeing that. So yes, I'll just share my entire screen then. Okay, so the problem is coming in the Meet link too, right? Yes. I'm sharing a tab because there are 2 meets. Just a minute. Okay, I get it. I got the problem. A window and no. So Android Studio is pretty heavy, and you know there are a lot of memes are made on this that how it will affect your computer. Just give me a minute. So it's pretty, it's a pretty heavy task for my computer right now. It's performing pretty well. A window, right? And I'll pin this. Okay, so just hold on. The Meet link 2, guys, just hold on. Yeah, I think you'll be able to see now. Okay, I'll have a look at the chat real quick. Standard. Okay, yeah, I'm covering that. I'll just cover the virtual device also, right? So it's a bit glitchy now, but yeah. Okay, so yeah, you don't have to, if you have not installed previously, you don't have to import the settings. I know it is huge, it will take some time, but we got to proceed with the Meet. We're already a little back on track. I mean, a little delayed. So we got to get back on track. So if you guys can, move along with me, it would be recommended. So, okay, you don't need to import the settings if you have not already installed it earlier. It is just a setting that if you haven't, if you already had an installation and you're installing again, then there are some, config files or settings. That is the option for that. Since you're installing it for the first time, you won't need it. And if you have it pre-installed, just update it. Update it to this particular version. This is the latest stable version. Okay, so now I will continue. So yeah, so you can just click on configure. If you're a Linux user and you somehow installed it, so you just have an option to show for, show your desktop and, wait, I'll have to share my entire screen. Just a minute again. I'll show my entire screen. Okay. Yeah, so I hope it's visible now and I'll pin it again. Okay, mind the recursion. You'll get to know what it is, but okay, I'll have to minimize this. Right. So you're able to see my screen right now. So this is the Android Studio, the welcome page. And if you're a Linux user, you can just click and you're not able to see the icon. Okay, any Linux users, yeah, first of all, any users of Linux, you can just unmute. Linux or Ubuntu.
Ubuntu.
Okay. So on Ubuntu, have you installed it? Were you able to figure out how to open this thing?
I was at the last part when I was writing in the terminal.
Okay. So yeah, first of all, yeah, it is recommended that you choose, you follow a tutorial, because, okay, just a second, I'll have to stop this unpin. So that link to, guys, just be patient for a minute. So yeah, so it would be, wait. So basically your installation, the directory would be an installation, it would be installed in a particular directory. It would I guess it would be Android Studio. It would be something like this, right? It should be, wait. Yeah. So if it's on Linux, to launch it, preferably your directory would be something like this: user local Android Studio bin, right? So if you have that, then you have to run this command shstudio.sh. I'll send this on both the chats. This should be your default directory. Okay. So all you have to do is,
Okay.
All you have to do is run this if this is the same directory.
First, what we have to
So basically CD.
the starting window.
Okay, yeah, just hold on. Just a minute. I'll take another minute of yours. Yeah. So, okay. Now I will share the screen back for Meet 2, guys. And there'll be recursion again. So mind it. Yeah. So, right. Yeah, so I shared the code. If you're a Linux user, you can use that command to launch this. I hope most of you are on the screen right now. If not, it's pretty late. I can take your queries offline, or you can refer to the tutorial and any online tutorial. I'll have to resume from here. So I hope you guys are here at this screen right now. Welcome to Android Studio, basically. So, okay. Okay, yeah, so you can click on configure. And what you have to do is one thing you need to verify is when you click on configure in your lower right, you can go to settings. So it will take a minute and open the settings. Yeah. So this here you can. Sorry.
Shall we choose standard or custom one?
choose the standard ones. Like you're talking about the installation steps,
Yes,
or what are you talking about?
I'm talking about the
Choose
installation step.
whatever. Yes. Choose the standard installation steps. Don't make any changes. It would be difficult to debug or solve the issues. So don't make any changes. It's pretty. It's a convention they follow. So it's good that you choose that. So for those who are with me right now on the welcome to Android Studio. So I did see in the chats most of you have installed it. So just click on the icon of Android Studio. You would be guided here, right? And just click on configure. And when you click on configure, there is this settings drop down that opens. There'll be an option called as settings. So here's settings for new projects, and you can search auto import over here, right? Okay, you're still seeing the recursion. Wait. Okay. Okay, my God. Oh God. It's tough to manage 2 meets. I'm so sorry for that. Oh God, it's not responding now. Just wait a minute. So Android Studio is like very heavy. And wait. Okay. All right. Just let me fix this. I'll have to stop sharing. Okay. Just give me a minute to fix this again. It's like pretty tough to manage all these tabs along with. Okay. Yeah, you do not need to import any settings. Okay, so I'm sharing this tab. Sharing is on. Right. All right. Okay, so Varun, all your icons vanished. So a simple solution I could recommend you is you can go to your task manager and you'll see an explorer, file explorer icon there in your task manager in your running processes. You can just end it and then you'll have an option called as in the top right? In the top left, you'll have an run new task option. Then you'll have to restart this task,
Okay.
explorer.exe. Okay, so it will restart. It should be okay after this. I just joined from second limb. Okay, I will repeat the procedure again. So I hope that I'll just close this. Yeah, I hope you guys are in this landing screen. Yeah, I think it should be fixed now. Mostly, I'll pin this. You'll see recursion again. So I think both the meet links are okay now. They can see my screen, right? Can somebody unmute? One guy unmute and just say, great.
Yes, it is visible.
Great. So yeah, so okay, I think there's some problem. Let me check. Nope. Recursion, yeah, I can. It is recursion hoga. For a few minutes, there will be recursion. It's okay, right? So if you're on the Android Studio setup page, you can just click on configure, right? So when you configure, you just have to click on settings, not import settings. You just have to click on settings. Then this is something that will open up for you. And here you can search auto import. Okay. So when you search auto import here in general section, you will get auto import. Here, just make sure that this Java is ticked. Here, Java, this thing is ticked, right? It will be grayed out initially, but you can just click on it to, make it normal. Make sure that it's okay. Okay. Okay, you are from the first meet. Okay. It's become. Okay. Just allow me. Okay, so you're on the first meet, recursion. You should be able to see my screen. Acha, if I pin it. Yeah. So right. So that is because I am sharing my screen on one particular another Meet link. I can do that. Okay, let me change that real quick. If it's causing issues, it's all right. From the next time onwards, we'll be doing it on another platform. Noticing this problem, we'll prefer a DSC events platform. Okay, so I think we'll go there. So okay, so now I'm sharing my screen in both the tabs. I don't think it should be an issue. Right, you should be able to, both of the links should be able to see my screen. Okay, so I will once again, okay, anytime if you're not able to see my screen, just inform me immediately, right? So yeah, so this is a welcome screen. I'll just go over this again. This welcome screen, I hope you're in it. You just have to click configure, go to settings over here. Right, if you're a Mac user, you will get configure somewhere over here in preferences, right? So you just have to search auto import over here. In general section, you head to auto import here and make sure that Java is on. Add you just tick these options. By default, I think it should be something like this. You just check these and apply and okay. Just click on okay for these settings. Right, am I clear? And I hope this is done. Okay, yeah. So you will just click on configure, go to settings, right? Here you will have to search auto import. In the general, under the editor and general sections, you'll get auto import. Just check these boxes. These should be checked for Java, right? So this should be checked by default. This should not be checked by default. You just check them and click on OK. Am I clear? Okay, so I'll be proceeding now. So yeah, so if you have an Android device, you can just plug in your Android device, and I'll just share my screen now. Okay, so basically there are two ways. One, you can set up an Android. So what an AVD manager is, basically it's an Android virtual device, as many of you know. You can click on configure. Okay, I clicked on something else. God damn it. Okay, this should not be good. Cancel. So Android Studio is pretty heavy, so don't click on something else. So AVD manager, choose AVD manager, right? So here you have to create a new virtual device. For those of you who don't have an Android phone, you can create an create a virtual device. For those who have, it is still recommended because you won't have a cable on you every time when you're developing, right? So you can create a virtual device, and it's pretty slow right now because I have like 2 meets and okay, it's heavy. So here you can just choose a device model. I have installed for Pixel 3a. You can choose a device model. You can choose Pixel 4. Don't prefer the XL ones by my experience. You can choose Pixel 4 or Pixel 3. So this will just emulate a different device, and then you can click on next, right? Then you'll have release names. Prefer the Android 10 version because it's the stable version as of now. Android R is upcoming. So there are these API levels. You need some packages and for Android development. So you'll have to download this. Don't download all of them because it's a pretty heavy file. It would be a big file. So download Android Q, preferably Android 10. You can click on next. It might take some time to set it up because it's a heavy thing. Then you can click on next. You can name your device over here, right? And these are some settings you don't have to meddle with right now. I'll cover these later in the other sessions. And then you can click on finish. I hope I'm clear. Okay, one at a time. And please be a little louder. I'm not able to catch you.
I didn't get the last step.
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. Yeah, so please, one at a time. I'll just see who is presenting and who's speaking. Right, yeah. So any one of you just unmute.
I didn't get the last step, like after registering the Pixel 3 and Pixel 4a, what we have to do.
Okay. I'll go over it again. I understand this might be a little fast for you. Even if you're not able to configure this in your session today, it's all right. for the first beginner module, you do not need Android Studio to begin with the courses. It is done on an online Kotlin editor, right? So that is mentioned in the courses. It's totally fine. We can take these queries offline also if you're facing any issues. But yeah, so once you select your phone, then you'll click on next, right? So it would possibly it would download a few files, right? Then you click, these are Android versions basically, right? Lollipop, Marshmallow, Android Q, or the Android 10 right now, which is the current stable version, right? And Android 11 is also, it's in beta phases for some OEMs, some manufacturers, and it's stable for Pixel devices. So I would prefer you can go for Q, right? So you'll have to download the system image. Like for my case, I've downloaded Q, but you'll have to download this. So you have to click on download here. It will take some time because it's a system image to emulate Android on your PC, right? So it will download a system image. Once you've downloaded, you just have to, it will be, the download option will disappear since I have Q already downloaded. Then you can click on next over here.
So we have to download R.
Yeah, no, you can download Q. Q is, I would say Q is the perfectly stable one. So download Q, okay? I would suggest that, but R would be like perfectly stable in a few days also. It's totally fine, not much of a difference. So, okay, yeah, so you download Q, then click on next and just name your device. You can keep this way, it's pretty informative, right? And then you click on finish. It will set up a device. It might take some time. It's a heavy thing to do, right? Okay, so I'll just close the device manager now. Now, okay, so for those of you who will use an Android device, I will have to just let me show a quick thing for you. Okay, so the emulator won't work. So that is a workaround I think you'll have to do. You'll have to use an Android device then, because I don't work at Apple. I can't make it compatible. So we can do, yeah, I'll show it to you right now, how you do that. Okay, it will take a minute. Okay. Wait. Let me just, it will take a minute. Okay, it's visible. Okay, great. Right. So how many of you have actually experienced with, developer options on your phone? Okay, that's good that you do. Okay. I'll be taking the queries of problems later. Preferably Google it, and I'll take the other queries offline on the Telegram channel. Okay, so I'll just show my screen. Yeah, so you can see my screen over here, right? So for those of you who want to use your Android device, you can just connect it here, and first of all you'll go to settings. You will go to so it might vary from phones across different phones, but you'll have an about page, right? So you'll have to click on build number 6 times. So I've already enabled developer options, but you'll have to click on build number 6 times. And in case of Xiaomi phones, I guess it is MIUI version. You'll have to tap on MIUI version 6 or 7 times, and just keep tapping it. I can just show it for you. Oh yeah. So is it clear? Yeah. So then you can search developer options. So I will repeat. In most phones, it is you have to tap the build number 6 times. In Xiaomi phones, you'll have to tap the MIUI version 6 times. You can just search it like how to enable developer options. So once you reach here, you'll have to turn on something called as USB debugging. Right. So here I have turned it on. This is the way your PC can recognize your device. Okay, I'll just see if there's some question. Full screen not visible. I don't think that should be an issue right now. I'm sharing the screen everywhere. So it should be visible. Yeah. So this is my Android. Yeah, so I'm showing my Android phone's screen right now. I hope that's visible. If it's not, you can just unmute yourself, because it's too many windows for me right now. Just unmute yourself, it's not visible. Okay, since nobody's speaking, I assume it's visible. right? So I've enabled the first step is you have to enable your developer options by clicking on the build number 6 times, or in case of Xiaomi phones, you have to click on the MIUI version, right? And then go to the developer options, search for it, and enable USB debugging. Okay, so this option should be enabled right here. Like I can toggle it. Oh God, no. Yeah, so developer options. Okay, I'll repeat that. Just hold
अबाउट
on.
सेक्शन में जाने के बाद क्या करना है वो बता दो फिर से.
Okay. It's all right. So you go to your about, phones about, right? So it will vary across different manufacturers, Samsung, vagera, but generally it is build number in Samsung also, right? You tap the build. I'll just show it to you once again slowly. I'll disable developer options right now. Okay. So I would, oh, come on. No. Okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. So that stopped my, so USB debugging is basically required by software. So the software I'm using on Ubuntu right now to show my screen, that uses USB debugging. So when I disabled that, that was something I should not have done. It's all right. Just allow me once. Just give me a minute. Okay, it should be fine right now. I'll just rerun the command. Don't worry. I'll share the recording also if you're not able to. Yeah. So yeah, my screen is visible now. Right. Now I will show it to you again. Right. So one thing I would say, you should actually do this ideally if you have an Android. That's the advantage of having an Android, customizations. So one thing that I do is I always disable animations on my phone. It makes it feel faster. Okay. So I'll just disable the animations. It's a pretty, I don't care much about animations. So it's a pretty fast experience when you do that. So what you have to do, you have to go to your phone status or info. It would be something like this, where it shows the details about your phone, right? So there's a thing called as build number. So if you can see it over here, okay, I'll just enable, yeah. So if you can see it on the screen, build number, you can see it here, right? So tap on it 6 times, or more, could be 8. Mostly it is 6. So I keep tapping on it continuously so that you get a prompt. This is called a toast. Okay, this thing, it's called a toast in Android development. So in Android in general, so you'll get a toast saying this prompt with that's saying no need, you're already a developer. So this is a toast. So you'll get a toast saying developer options enabled, or you're 1 step away, you're 2 steps away. So once you do that, it will enable developer options. Now you can just search in your settings for developer options. Use the search functionality. You can write developer options, right? So it will land you to a similar page. Okay. So here you have to search for USB debugging. Do not mess with other things. This will not break your phone, but it could lead to unpleasant circumstances. It could add a screen to another screen. It is possible. So you should do that. Okay, yeah. So USB debugging should be enabled. Okay. So once you do that, okay. So once you do, yes. Okay, it should be there. USB debugging is a standard one. Or you can search it for your model number on Google, how to enable that. I'm not sure if both options are same. It's generally USB debugging. It would be that only. Right. So yeah. Okay. So one thing I would like to show this to you. Yeah. So I've enabled USB debugging. Now, when I set up a new project, it will be okay for right now. Just a minute. So for right now, I'll just open a template project that I already have. Okay. Just to show it to you quickly that it works. Okay. So we'll do this project setup also. Don't worry. We'll cover that. Okay, so whenever you launch a project in Android Studio, it's a heavy file. Okay, it's a heavy application. So I would say you'll have to wait for some time. It will have some processes running, some daemons basically. Okay, so you'll have to wait for it. Be patient. and then you'll be able to, or you might even get something like build Gradle, or Gradle build complete, or Gradle build failed in case of an error. So you will get that. Just hold on. Not applicable. Okay, yeah. So main activity. I'll go to main activity.kt. So I'll explain these things. You don't have to worry about it right now. Yeah. So if you see this, I'm getting the option, my device is recognized here. 1+6 basically, right? So you just have to click here. Otherwise, you can click on an emulator here. You choose your device where you'll install the APK. So Gradle is actually a build system. So it is an important term you should know for Android. It's called Gradle. So there are build.gradle files in any Android project, be it Flutter or Kotlin or Java. So what these do is they help you to convert your Kotlin or Java or XML code into an APK on your device. So if this Pixel 3a that I have is an emulator, Android emulator that I set up, that I showed you how to set this up using my AVD manager. AVD is Android virtual device, right? So once you set this up, it will be visible over here, right? So some of you might be familiar with this interface. It's pretty similar to Intel IJ, an IDE for Java also. So you can select your device. If you've connected your device, you should be able to see your device here. So OnePlus A600, right? So now I can choose to run this app, and it will install this app on my phone. Otherwise, it will install it on my emulator. So I'll start my emulator right now, and yeah, just to show it. Yeah, so it will start something like this. Okay, wait. Yeah, so this is a test application. Yeah. So an emulator is basically the entire device. You can boot it up. You'll have to control it. This is okay. It's a bit laggy. You'll have to bear with me. This will be tough for my PC. See, the Gradle build is running. If you can see my screen where my pointer is, Gradle build is running. So this is basically helping me to compile that particular APK. So basically what an APK, I am not sure if you know that. APK is the format for installations on Android. Any app is installed via an APK, even if you install it via your Play Store. If you don't use Play Store, I'm pretty sure some of you might be aware about of this. So APK is the format. So that Gradle basically generates the APKs. It is an application package, Android application package. Yeah, that is APK basically. So am I going too fast? Can someone confirm this to me? Is it okay? So just bear with me. It's pretty difficult for my PC right now, but yeah. So yeah, just hold on. It's a little irresponsible. Yeah. So yeah, the device is lagging, but this is just like 20-second or 30 think that how the device looks on a random test application. Now I can go back to my phone, I guess. Did it stop for some reason? Okay, I'll just close the Android manager. Okay, wait. Yeah. Hello. Okay, yeah. Am I audible now? Or was I like frozen for a while back then? Okay, yeah. So that is because
Yes,
too much for my
sir.
PC to handle. Yeah. So that is something that is one of the few things that happens with Android Studio. Not that frequently, but you see, I had a lot of tabs of Chrome open. So that is, so I'll join the other meet also soon enough. I can't present on my phone. So till then, I can take some of your queries if you have any issues, or you want me to repeat some steps. I do remember the steps. So till then, till I get back online using my PC.
Will you show once again how to set up virtual
Oh, okay,
device once we are on main page of
okay,
Android?
okay. I'll cover that. Just a minute.
But yeah, how until how many time we will be able to access this course?
This course will be accessible to you anytime. This will be on the Android site. Okay, so that should not be an issue.
After 9th Feb also.
Yeah. That is accessible. See, this course is on the Android developers page, so that will not be an issue. Okay, just hold on. I'll join via my PC. My PC is booted up.
How do we connect our Android device on Windows? Like you showed it for Linux only. So, oh, never mind.
Yeah,
You're muted.
I'm on two meets, remember. So my PC lagged heavily because of Android Studio. So I'll just start where I left back. Just give me a minute. So next time we'll go to another platform, seeing this response. Okay, just bear with me. So I was presenting my entire screen. So even if your Android Studio is not installed, I will repeat, you can start with the courses, especially the introductory course. And that is not in that particular course, the beginner one. It is not required that you have an Android Studio installation. It will guide you to a Kotlin playground. Okay, so that is basically an editor online. So there you can run basic Kotlin code. You cannot develop apps on it, but you can run basic Kotlin code to get familiar with the syntax and to get familiar with programming in general, right? So you can follow those courses, and I recommend that you guys do follow it back at home when you're not in the session, right? Whenever you get free time. So start away with the courses. I will have introductory sessions, the 3 sessions that we've planned to help you guys set up these things. Okay, so just a minute. So we'll resume where we start. Yes. So in Triple IT, you can just type my name. You'll have the contact sync for anybody, but it's preferable that you choose the Android, the Telegram channel, so that in case someone has the same query, I address it once and for all. So it is convenient for all of us. And if I'm offline. Yeah, so otherwise, if it's like absolutely urgent, then you can email me. You can just type, when you're sending an email, you can just type out my name, Karanjot Singh. You'll get my email. So that is, I'm the only Karanjot in college. Yes. So that would lead you there. Okay. So I'll just start presenting my phone right now. I don't think we have a lot of time, but I can show you a cool thing as to why you should actually see this. It's actually important that you mess around with your phone a bit. Like when I was a little young, in my classes, I used to install ROMs. There's something called as custom ROM. Okay. That should not happen. Okay, so for some reasons, I'm unable to present my screen of my Android phone right now, but okay, it's all right. So I can take up questions on Android virtual device right now. I'll do that. Yeah, I hope I'm audible, right? Okay. Session is also being recorded. Yeah, I'm audible, right? Can somebody just confirm it to me in the chat? Yes. Okay, great. Okay, so yes. So I'll just start my AVD manager. Till then, I would show you a meme. Okay, these are some memes that are made on. You'll have to see this. Acha. You'll have to see this. Okay. I'm sharing my device, so it will cover a little part. Just a minute. You can see these memes till then. Okay, so I'll cover the Android. Somebody asked me to explain the EVD setup again. I will do that. Okay, so here's also a meme as to what happened to my PC. This is exactly what happened. Like this RAM issue is like a very big issue. So yeah, so when you click on configure, you go to AVD manager, and then I'll play it here along, right? And so that I can show how it works as well. So this is also a pretty heavy thing for a PC to handle, and great. What is Flutter? Okay, so Flutter 16 GB RAM is pretty good. I would say it is pretty good, right? Okay. Yeah, it's pretty good. Flutter is also another tool. It's based on Dart. I do that too. It's a new tool. It's probably a little too ahead of its like it's a bit young right now, but I like it. It's a tool for Android development. It's for cross-platform Android development. So one of the other advantages of Kotlin is it's cross-platform. So how it works is I'll explain it while showing you the AVD. So in development, you can either do iOS development or you have Android development. So the iOS and Android, they have different code bases. They're made on different languages. So Android was primarily made on Java, and iOS, the earlier versions were made on Objective-C. And now it is shifted to Swift for applications. So their code bases are different. So you can't just, usually you can't have one development language to build for both of them simultaneously. So this is a bit of a problem. And that is why we have seen rise of cross-platform cross-platform languages. Like you can say Flutter. Flutter is a tool, not a language. Then you have React Native, and you have Xamarin. You have a lot of such languages that in that you can develop one app with a few differences, and it will compile for Android as well as Apple. So that is something that's trending, and in Kotlin also that is supported. So, but in Java, when you use only Java, it is not. In Java, you cannot make apps for iOS. It's only for Android. So that's one of the other advantages of Java. So as you can see, these are a few Flutter apps that I made. This is one of an app that I made with Flutter, right? So it should launch. Yeah, this is one of the apps that I made using Flutter also. This is a transaction where you can record your transactions and all. So yeah, you should try to spend time here, take your free time, but also like it's a good thing. I honestly like it. This is the way you'll find out like what you want to do, right? So you just have to try stuff. So this is the Android. It's just like an Android device. You can control it. These are basic controls. Here, there are a few options in settings. You can see you can rotate it's pretty like you can use cameras. This is very good for app development. Here I clicked on the 3 buttons, and yeah, you can control a lot of stuff, right? So, and you can have volume, you can reboot it, you can rotate it. Like there are a lot of options. So this is the AVD. Now about setting it up. So you have this, or you have to click create virtual device, right? Then you click on a device model. Say I click on Pixel 4 right now. Then you'll click on next. Then you'll have to download a system image. The system image is basically for the software that runs on the phone. So this phone right now, this Android, this phone, it's running Android 10. Okay. So I can do the exact same thing. I can enable, you can use it fully. Like this is just like your Android phone. You can open the settings. Everything is pretty, everything is pretty set up. So yeah. So this is the Android version that is installed for your emulator right here. It is used for developing apps for this particular Android as well as others under it till some limit and above it, right? So this is something called as API level. So each Android SDK, the software development kit, will have a version, right? So there's also an API version. I expect that these might be very intimidating to hear right now, but trust me, once you get a little, familiar with these terms, it will be all right. You don't need to know what exactly these are, but this is something that you can learn on the way. It's just you can just call it any name you would like to for right now. Okay, so Android Q is API level 29. Just trust me here and just try to understand. Don't try to understand. Just trust me here. So it's basically Android 10 ka code. So whatever it will be giving on your phone, that particular Android version, wo is pe install kar dega. Then I click on next. Okay, just let me minimize this. Say minimize. So next, then so as I said earlier, you'll have to download the system image. It's a big one, so don't download all of them. Download Q. I would recommend download Q, or R will also do fine. So when you click on download, you can click download. Like I have already downloaded it, Q version. Then you can click on next, and here you can just name it, and you can finish the setup. Once you finish it, it should be all right. If you have any issues, you can, first of all, I would recommend that you search it online, because that's how we actually learn. A lot of issues are faced in such stuff. Trust me, the setup could appear a little intimidating, but after that, it's fairly easy. You can like the same amount of code that you'll be doing in classes, in just a few lines, you can have a basic app, just like a button or an image changing. That's a start, I would say. That's a good start. So I think I'll just show you these memes. I'm a good meme fan. So I'll show you these memes, and I think we'll end the session here for today. And we can continue on our second beginner session that we'll have on 16th. Till then, you'll get familiar with the courses, I'm sure. And I'll try to be active on the Telegram channel as well. And if you have any queries, you can shoot me up there. You can message it to me on Telegram, right? I will try to help you out. And it's something, this is an Android, it's a study group, right? So even I'm not a pro in Kotlin. Even I'm a learner, I could say. So it is something that try to message your queries on your Telegram channel. So we all can solve the issues together, and we can get started with this. So I think we would cap the session here, and I'll give you a minute to read the memes. And I'm a fan of memes. So I hope this session was good. It would be great if I get some replies in the chat. I'll stop sharing right now. I'll share the tab for the memes. Okay, thank you. Your appreciation is very helpful. And I will share the recording on the Telegram channel, and I'll try to do it as soon as possible. Chintu ke apps. That's funny. White Hat Junior. Nice. I wish I could have read the chat. We'll shift to a different platform next time. And it's pretty decent when we get the thanks session. Okay, great having you guys. I think we'll end it here, and I'll show these memes again the next session. It's all right if you didn't read all of them. They're pretty good. So great. So I'll share it on the Telegram channel, and I think that should suffice. I'll share a Drive link. You can share it along with your friends. So I'll not spam everybody's email, all students' emails for that. Those who are interested in the program, I will share the link. Yeah, I would mail it, but it would be like unnecessary to email every student for the recording. So that's why I'll prefer the Telegram channel. I will send the link. I will send the link right away right now also. You can share it with your friends who are interested in this program. You can join. I'll share it there, the Telegram link. And we continue from here. Yep.
Should we like the Kotlin course? Should we do like start the course now? Click on start.
Yes, you can. So if you have prior experience, go for it, I would say.
Until when it is valid, like till when this link is.
So these courses are valid till whenever Android decides it is. Like, I believe there is no deadline. Okay, these will stay on the site. They want developers. They want Kotlin to be adapted. So these courses will stay. This certification has a deadline. That's it. The certification and submission of apps to Google for their, their recognition. That has a deadline. Otherwise, these courses would be accessible anytime. Like, could be possible they're there for like next 5 years. It is possible. So don't worry on that part because it's an official developer Android site and you don't need any credentials for the courses. So
No,
that's
like
not an issue.
I want to like first learn Java and then like I thought of going to this software development.
Okay. Just hold on. Someone else is asking. Okay, Vedant, you can continue. I will come back to Somam, I guess it was. I'll come back to you and I'll. Okay. So Vedant, please continue.
Yeah, I was asking like I want to like continue with Java. Like in next semester we have like data structure and algo, and I think Java would be very beneficial